Hi everyone, welcome to Startup Impact Summit, a virtual conference focused on showcasing impact and creating impact. Today on the international and GBA stage, we have welcomed an amazing panel who have spent many years helping companies set their business up in Hong Kong. So without further ado, let's kick off the Softlanding in Hong Kong 101. So hi everyone, I am Josephine, Community Manager of WHub, Hong Kong's first and largest startup community platform. Today, I'm delighted to welcome an esteemed panelist to share with us everything you need to know about Softlanding, your company in Hong Kong. We have Alexander, Senior Manager of BlueMeg, Janice, Principal of JC Legal, and Alex, Managing Partner of Fastlane Group. So to kick off, I'd like to invite each of you to do a quick introduction about yourself. Shall we start off with Alex?
Alex or Alexander?
Yes, let's go with Alex and Alexander.
It's good that we have two Alex here. So yeah, good to see you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here to attend this webinar. Just a quick introduction about myself. I'm the Group Managing Partner for Fastlane. We are an accounting and CPA firm based in Hong Kong. We have been around for the last 7 years. We're serving startups, entrepreneur, and SME in Hong Kong, handling their accounting, taxations, and other corporate services.
Thank you, Alex. And Janice?
Hi, everyone. My name is Janice. I'm the principal of JC Legal. Basically, it's a Hong Kong law firm. We actually doing a lot of commercial, and we serve as SME startup as well. So one of the missions of us is to actually grow with the startup. So we have a lot of programs actually, cater for startup. So what we do in Hong Kong is mostly for commercial and also corporate in Hong Kong. Thank you.
Thank you. And Alexander?
Hi, nice to meet everybody. My name is Alexander. I work for BlueMeg. BlueMeg is a startup in Hong Kong. Well, technically, we only started 2 years ago. It's a technology company in Hong Kong that has set up an entity management solution. So basically, you could see it as anybody who manages a large amount of entities need an online platform. We've, coming from the industry, we've built the system in-house and very much on where all the pain points lie, so that managing all these entities is a lot more efficient and online, so it's safe, so you can work from anywhere basically. And I'm part of the team here in Hong Kong, bit of a mixed role in different things, so helping new clients on board, existing clients to expand, all different things.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'd like to kick off the session with directing my questions to Janice, actually. So for foreign entrepreneurs looking to set up their company in Hong Kong, are there any specific requirements they should look out for or they should comply with that you'd like to highlight?
For foreign entrepreneur, before they come to Hong Kong, they might need to think about what kind of business that you like to do. So because in each jurisdiction, there are different licensings and requirements that may be imposing to the nature of the business. So first of all, it's just not like setting up a company, but you also need to know the nature of the business, what kind of business that you're going into. So for instance, if you are doing in finance, then you might need a certain licensing from SFC, like corporate finance. So, but if you are distributing food business, so you might need to see whether food license is required. So these are something that you may need to know. And also, of course, when you go to the next step, we're talking about when you set up a company, what will be the requirements? For instance, just not setting up company, that's all. You need to know what would be the requirements for the directors, and also is there like a company secretary. So for a company secretary, you need to go for those who is having a TCSP license, service provider. So you also need to know, you need to have a registered address. So these are all the legal requirements when you set up a company, you might need to know. Secondly, it's like the nature of the business, what kind of business you are working you are into, and see whether there is any restrictions in the Hong Kong market. Yeah.
So we get this question a lot because a lot of companies are obviously looking to fundraise. So in particular, while fundraising, what are the things that a founder needs to bear in mind when it comes to legal agreements and term negotiations? Because this is quite a hot topic.
Yes, I think for fundraising, one of the reasons, I mean, of course, like if I'm a startup, I'm looking for fundraising. So sometimes you need to wait, a balance, whether the money and also you also do not want to lose your power in the company. Because I can see, some of my clients, they came to me and they already signed an investment agreement like 2-3 years before when they come in to see me. And basically they are giving up all the rights they have in the company in order to take like a certain portions of investment sum. So these are a lot of, a lot of people is making this mistake. It's not that they are, they are not wise enough, because at that juncture, they are looking for that money. But at the same time, you might need to know that when you take the money, you need to have a negotiations power as well, because who knows, when your business grow, you can have more money from that. But once you get more money, but basically half of the company is gone because you don't have power in the company anymore. So these, I think, is very, very important. So when you discuss with the investor, when you sign a term sheet, when you sign an investment agreement, make sure you have someone who's looking after your interests. Because that would be your baby, because you do not want to lose your baby when the baby grow, So these are something that you might need to be cautious when you sign anything. Yeah.
Do you have any specific advice for entrepreneurs who are working with a law firm, like what they should ask and what the kind of like position they should take?
You mean when they raise the funds and when they talk with the investor? I think first of all, I think if you do not want to lose your power in the company, that means you need to maintain a sufficient seat in the board of directors. Yeah, because in terms of the board, it's very important for you to enhance your power, because once you give up your directorship, or you give up the seats of the director, then basically you can run the company as you like, because you are basically giving away to the investor. So of course, the evaluation, the valuations price of the company is also very important, the exit plan as well. So when you ask someone to go and invest in your company, you also need to think about your exit plan. So if you want them to go, what would be the exit plan? That would be very, very important. Yeah, you can ask someone to go in, and then you need to know when they are going out in the future. Yeah,
exactly. So think like longer term, not just like about this fundraising round, but the exit plan as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about finance. I'd like to actually move on to Fastlane, to Alex. So in your experience, what accounting related aspects do you think startup founders tend to miss out on? And do you have any advice for them?
Sure. A lot of startup, when they start the business, in most cases, they will have a lot of expenses. They spend a lot of money, but they don't have revenue. So they tend to not really focus a lot of keeping track of the numbers, because they just say, okay, now I'm just spending. But it's very important that the startup forget to having the receipts and have a way to track all the expenses they have spent. I think in particular, when they talk to potential investors, they talk about like the valuation, how much they spend. They want to show them the record of expenditure or capital they spent. So, and also it is also a requirement in Hong Kong for the tax office. They will require all these companies in Hong Kong to keep 7 years of records, whether there's receipts, bank statements, contracts, customer agreements. So they need to keep it for 7 years. So having a good track of their records is very important. I would say another piece is the bank statements. Once you have the bank statements, it's relatively easy to reconstruct your financial statement. So you can look at the bank statements, you look at all the money coming in and all the money going out. In a way, if you can identify each transaction in and out, you should be able to construct your financial statements. So that's the key. The other thing is what I see, typically there's lack of budget from the startups. So they don't have a good plan in a way because they're growing very fast. So a lot of uncertainty. So what I would suggest for startup is to think about different scenario, like a base case, a base case which is like pretty standard sort of growth, or like more blue sky case, which if they can grow their revenue faster. So I would suggest to have a different scenario when they run the budget. And the final piece I would say is to find the tools. If they first started, they may consider using Excel to track the numbers. And then further down the track, if they started to have more transactions, they may consider to use some online tools, some online accounting tools for them to track their financial performance.
At this point, do you have any recommended tools that you'd recommend the startups to use or look into, just to name a few?
Well, I mean, we are a Xero partner, Xero, Xero. I mean, this is quite a popular tool, has been used by a lot of SME and startup around the world. They have 2 million users using it on a day-to-day basis. So it's a good tool to use. It's an online tool. It gives you ability to issue invoices. It gives you ability to do bank reconciliations. It gives you ability to run your budget.
Perfect, because us at WHub, we're also using Xero, and it's super convenient, so for sure. Following up on that, for Hong Kong particularly, are there any accounting standards and regulations that startup founders can refer to? Do you offer any support in this aspect?
Yeah, sure. In Hong Kong, if you talk about accounting standards, in Hong Kong, we have a standard called Hong Kong Accounting Standard, HKAS. Which is very much similar to the international accounting standards. So basically, different countries have their own accounting standards, but given Hong Kong is a global city, the standard that we create are pretty much aligned with the international one. So that means if you prepare your books and records according to the Hong Kong accounting standards, it's pretty much, I would say, consistent to other parts of the world. Okay, so this is Hong Kong accounting standard, something that you can pay attention and Google it up for some of the recognition of certain criteria. But in general, I would say the accounting standard will have implication to your tax reporting. So that means if you prepare your books and records and prepare financial statements, you also need to consider how you comply with the tax reports. As Fastlane Group, we are accounting and CPA firm. We provide support in terms of your accounting preparations, but also providing audit services as well as tax filing services.
Okay, so I'd like to take the opportunity to move on to Alexander at BlueMeg. So I know that BlueMeg offers entity management and governance services, where you essentially help startups manage the compliance requirements digitally.
Yeah.
So I know that Hong Kong has been quite traditionally known as a city that is quite slow at accepting technology to change the way they do their business.
Yeah.
And have you encountered any challenges in this aspect, and how have you handled them?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, Hong Kong is indeed is quite a paper-heavy type of jurisdiction. Everything is very done old school. I think, though, the challenges are becoming less and less so, because you see, especially what's happened in the last couple of months, a lot of people are working from home, can access their files. So a lot of people have been trying to go, okay, what can we do to improve ourselves? So we actually are seeing a growing number of TCSP companies saying, hey, we want to digitize, so then they come to us to be able to white label our service so they can basically kick things up a notch. So I think, yes, there are challenges. If you're dealing with, for example, a company registry, you have to file certain documents in hard copy. It's how it is at the moment. But then there's companies like us, because we come out of the industry, we know where the pain points are. We've digitized everything. in the way that the moment the government will say, okay, we're going to digitize it, then you can connect the software to the government. So I think there's a lot of people prepping just to get to that next step. At the moment, yeah, and I think if you're working with teams like Janice and with Alex, I mean, they'll tell you exactly what is required from a legal point of view. So I think it's a bit of an ongoing something where you can find certain ways to become more digital, but then there's always something that you need to do in paper-based.
Yeah, and you see a slow kind of uptake because of COVID, it's kind of pushed forward the adoption of the technology.
Yeah, it's very much. So I've been in the industry for a while before I moved over to the tech side, and it was very paper-based when I first moved to Hong Kong, and a lot of people are moving forward to finding digital solutions.
So actually, there's been more news stating that like VC and PE firms have turned to doing corporate and legal due diligence through online means. And do you see this as well? And like, do you see trends?
Yeah. So we work with a lot of startups, a lot of VCs, and a lot of them are doing distance community events. So everything is becoming more digital through Zoom meetings. Everything, the documents are submitted online. So you have all of these companies are implementing like KYC software solutions. So the individual doesn't need to come to Hong Kong to do the KYC, for example, for a particular entity setup. And I think it's slowly but surely, some of the online banks are now you can do some of the parts online. And I think at some point, the bigger banks will start doing the same thing. It's Hong Kong, so it's got to take a while, I think. But I think we'll get there at some point.
Do you think there's any opportunities and challenges with moving everything online? And what startups should pay attention to?
I think the biggest challenge is for individuals that have always done it a certain way. I get it. It's something new. It's something completely different for some people. So I think that's the biggest challenge, is getting people that have done certain things for so many years to completely change, do everything online. But I think we've had it where we had a lady who was 65, always paper-based, started using the system, loves it because she can work from home. She has no issues. Everything is online. And I think that's how the way we developed our software is very intuitive, very focused on, okay, where are the pain points and can everybody make use of it, every section of the population? And I think once we sometimes explain it to individuals, they go, oh, it's very simple. And then it's like, oh, I want to try this. And then they understand the value of software. And it's great to see that people that are very against anything that's digital are suddenly going, oh, that's a good idea, let's try it out. And then off they go. So no, I think it's slowly but surely we'll get there. But I think Hong Kong has done very well last few years.
Yeah, I think we need more like success cases and like to encourage people to move more online. I think it's a whole process.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'd actually like to open up the floor to a more open discussion now. So in Hong Kong, with the restrictions around COVID kind of easing up, now we can see that we can have over 50 people in a group setting. The travel bubble is kind of easing between China and Macau. What is your general take on the ease of doing business in Hong Kong now? Anyone want to start?
I can start if you want. No, I think despite what's happening, I mean, I'm talking about COVID here, we have seen a lot of people coming to Hong Kong, a lot of startups still setting up with the idea of we want to be in Hong Kong for a reason, because at the end of the day, Hong Kong is still a large international city. A lot of people come from here and use Hong Kong as a stepping stone to China, to North Asia or Southeast Asia. I think Hong Kong still has that edge. And I think with the whole community that's there in terms of the advisors, either legal or the accounting side, etc., I think Hong Kong has a good edge to actually start from here and then go into different jurisdictions. Is there going to be challenges? Always. I mean, every country has its challenges. Things change. See how much is happening in Europe and in other parts of the world. But I think Hong Kong and I mean Asia is a very attractive jurisdiction for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Janice, please.
Yeah, I agree with what Alex say. I think Hong Kong still is a good place to start a business despite all these challenges since last year till the pandemic. But also the government is also implement a lot of these subsidies during this difficult periods. For instance, like digital transformations, distance business program, and also employee retention incentive as well. I think this would be very helpful to the startup and also SME companies when they are struggling in this difficult periods. And of course, you can see from yesterday news, there are 28 confirmed cases still, but 27 cases are actually having a travel history. So I think essential travel still need to evaluate, not like, it's not that we don't want to go overseas, but we still need to be cautious. And, now we have Zoom, we have, all those telecommunications, which is very easy to stay intact with other people. I think, just stay with it right now. And then I'm sure, maybe a few months later or even next year, we can still be normal. Yeah.
Yeah, there are over 287.5 billion government funds available made from different subsidies and like grants and stuff like that. So there are definitely opportunities to get help from those. Did you want to tap into this, Alex? Oh, I think you're on mute.
So as we are an accounting firm, and in the last couple of, months, we've been helping a lot of companies doing a lot of applications to the government programs. Let's say the TVP, the Technology Voucher Program. We've been helping companies to apply the DBS, Distant Business Program. Basically, is to apply funding from the government to help you to transform your business to organize your business or conduct your business in a digital way. And also, there are ESS, the Employment Subsidy Schemes. So a lot, again, it's really helpful for companies actually need help in terms of getting the cash flow, to making sure that, we can continue to provide employment to the staff. So there are lots of, subsidies around in Hong Kong and supporting the SMEs. And in terms of the COVID-19, I guess everyone is up their skills or the infrastructure in terms of how to run the business through work from home arrangement. And I think this is something that everyone learning how to do it. Even Fastlane as a company, we have work from home arrangement even now. So and cloud and technology is really helping us to do this. Like for the technology that BlueMeg is offering, Zoom, Zero, other tools actually helping us to do work from home arrangements.
Actually, I had a question for Janice as well. Like, since Alex mentioned everything is kind of moving online, we're using Zoom, and everything's become more digitized. How about the opportunities from the legal front? Is there?
I also want to mention, like, during this difficult period, I would say no. I don't think any more client want to come to my office and see me. And even though maybe the thing, everything it's just not moving. So we actually, our firm just kind of launched this program called virtual legal clinics. So it's a very short legal clinic sessions to the clients. So you can either do like a video conference, like you can just call us for 15 to 20 minutes. We actually just accept a very minimum fees, and part of the fees we will actually donate to the organization, the charity organization in Hong Kong. Because we understand during this period, a lot of charity organizations, they are unable to host any donations event. So they are stagnant right there. So we're actually hoping to help with this fee. We are also contributing to the society. So apparently the clinics, the feedback is quite good. So we have people like scheduling for a legal clinic. It's similar to, if you are sick and you go to the clinic. But now we can do like, you know, a telecommunications, like a video conference, a clinic. I can see you, at least you know that, you know, I'm somebody who providing you a legal advice. And I also think that due to this pandemic, you know, crisis, I believe the legal industry is also, you know, changing in a way, you know, not wholly relying on, you know, people, like just, you know, personal contact, like you need to see that people. It's more online as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. We're coming to a close actually soon. So I'd like to ask for one piece of advice from each of you to the startups looking to start up their businesses in Hong Kong. If I can start with Alexander.
Yeah, I'd say invest in quality advice, because I haven't been in the industry. I see a lot of people that do things very cheap and cheerful quickly, which I understand. And down the line, there's a lot of things that they need to sort out. So I think best thing to do is make sure you have quality advisors that know their things, legal and tax advisors around you, that you can make sure from the start you go the right way. And then, as Janice was saying earlier, that you will maintain that control while you grow, and actually can keep your baby in that sense. So I very much believe in that.
Alex?
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm still here. Yeah, so I guess my advice to people who want to start a business in Hong Kong, I think it still makes a lot of sense strategically. I mean, you know, we are, you know, part of China, and we go to China so close. There's a, you know, a market that actually people can explore in China, and Hong Kong could be the first stepping stones. And so for us, we opened our Shenzhen office earlier last year, and obviously things are a bit slow and not much we can do for now. But I think if you think about having, you know, expansion into China, Hong Kong still remain a good choice to start your business.
And Janice?
Yeah, for me, I think the advice that I would give it to the startup would be, you need to be flexible, because the society is changing very fast. So you need to be flexible in order to adopt any, you know, to change or adopt any business plan. So we can't just follow the business plan that you have, you know, decide or you have made for, you know, several months before. So you need to be prepared to change according to the society, what the society needs, what will happen, you know. Stay flexible, I would say, for the startup especially.
Yeah. Kind of reiterating what Alex has said, you know, prepare for the multiple different scenarios in your balance sheet. Just be prepared for change.
Yeah.
Perfect. So if the startups want to reach out to you, how should they and how can they?
I'll start. Yeah, they can email me, alexander@bluemeg.com, or you can go to our website, bluemeg.com, and then schedule a demo or a chat with somebody from our team. And if you prefer LinkedIn, then you can use LinkedIn. We're very flexible.
All the channels.
All the channels.
Janice?
You can go to our website, jcco-hongkong.com, or you can type JC Legal. You can see our website, and you can schedule, you know, virtual legal clinic with us if you want. Yeah, any questions that are related to Hong Kong, like legal questions, or even you want to expand your business to Southeast Asia, because we are doing that as well. So feel free to contact us. Yeah.
And Alex?
Yeah, same. I mean, our company name is there. Just Google it up. Yeah, feel free to just reach out to us. We welcome for any conversation about how we can help, from your accounting, from your tax, from your payroll, from your visas. Yeah, just drop us a line.
That's great. Thank you so much. I think we're at the end of the panel. I'm sure there'll be many follow-up questions from the audience. So yes, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.